Hi students, now we are going to discuss the topic the main thread. See the first point, when a Java program starts up, one thread begins running immediately. This is usually called the main thread of your program. It means whenever you run any Java program, whether it is a small program or it is a big program, whenever a Java program starts execution in the background, a thread will be automatically created. That name of the thread is main thread. Remember, name of that thread is main thread, and because it is the one that is executed when your program begins. Next point, the main thread is important for two reasons. First one is it is the thread from which other threads will be spawned. Occasionally, generally, this main thread is called as a parent thread. By using that main thread, child threads can be created. That is the first point. Second one, often it must be the last thread to finish execution because it has to perform various shutdown actions. It is very simple that main thread will be the first one that will be created, and obviously it will be the last one that will be completed. Although although the main thread is created automatically when your program is started, it can be controlled through a thread object. So what is the meaning? What is the meaning of this point is we are not creating the main thread, right? In the background, it will be automatically created, but we have a choice that we can control that main thread. It is something like when you buy a TV, a new TV, that TV can be controlled by using a remote, right? By using the remote you can change the channels, you can increase or decrease the volume, you can do whatever you want using that remote, something like that. Though you are not creating the main thread, but still you can control the main thread. For that, what you have to do is, to do so, you must obtain a reference to it by calling a method called current thread. So you have to use this method, current thread method. You have to use that. By using that, you can get the reference of that main thread. Once the reference is in your hand, you can actually control the main thread. And this current thread is present in a class called thread class. Thread is a predefined class, in the previous classes we have discussed. And this current thread is a public static member of that thread class. What is the meaning of a static member? What is the advantage of a static member? Without creating the object, we can directly call that method or static variable. See the general form of that current method. This is the name of the method, and static is that method is static method. Without creating the object, directly we can call this method by using the class name, and this thread here is a return type. See this point, this method returns a reference to the thread in which it is called. Once you have a reference to the main thread, something like once you have a TV remote in your hand, you can do anything you want, right? So similar to that, once you have a reference to the main thread, you can control it just like any other thread. We will see this program practically so that you can better understand it. Okay. Yeah, I will start writing the program. So this program is very important to understand. If you understand this program, you will easily understand the remaining programs also, right? Okay, first write this program. Class current thread demo. Your class is current thread demo. First, what I do is I will try to write this program without the concept of threads. Okay, and later I will try to add the concept of threads to you so that you can easily understand a program with threads and without threads. Okay, as usual, write your main method public static void main of string args, and my task is I want to print 5 numbers starting from 5 4 3 2 1 like that, so that I will write a for loop for that. For int I is equal to 5, I greater than something like I greater than 0, I minus minus system dot out dot print in a new line. I will print the value just 1 I. So this is a very simple program. Don't bother. I will slowly add the threads concept to the same program. Save this program first of all. Current thread demo dot Java. I have saved it, and now I will try to execute that. Right? Java C current thread demo dot Java. I'm compiling it. It is still under compilation. It's taking a lot of time. Yeah, generally, what kind of output you are going to expect for this program? Output is 5 4 3 2 1 will be printed, right? Let's see that. Yes, compilation is over. Java current thread demo. See here, if you observe the output, 5 4 3 2 1 was printed without any gap of time. All at once it has been printed, right? Once again, I'll try to execute that program. Observe the output, without any gap it has been printed, right? Now what I will do is I will try to control this output. After printing 5, I will maintain a time gap of 1 second. After 1 second, 4 will be printed. Again, after printing 4, I want to maintain a time gap of 1 second again. So for that, I will use a method called sleep method, which is actually a method present in the thread class. And because sleep is a static method, you can, without creating the object, you can directly call it, right? How to call that? See here, thread dot sleep of 1000. See, the parameter value I have given it as 1000. That is nothing but 1000 milliseconds. It is equal to 1 second. So for to print, not printing, there will be a time gap of 1 second between the printing of all the numbers. Let's see the output. I'm trying to save this program, but before I execute that, I just want to tell you one thing. This program will not compile. I will show you why. What is the reason for that? First of all, you try to compile it. Let's see the error what you are going to get. Okay, Java C current thread demo dot java. See here, you got some compile time error. What is that? Unreported exception, interrupted exception, right? Must be caught or declared to be thrown. Its meaning is there is a danger with this sleep method. This sleep method will or may cause an exception called interrupted exception. So if at all, if you are using this sleep method, definitely you have to catch the interrupted exception. So that means you have to catching means, you have to use the exception handling keywords like try and catch. So you have to keep this statement in the try block, and followed by you have to write the catch clause. So I am going to keep this entire for loop in the try block. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to keep this entire try for loop inside the try block. Okay, and obviously try is followed by the catch, right? Catch of what kind of exception you have tried here? This sleep method is going to raise or may raise interrupted exception, right? So what you have to caught is the same interrupted exception. Interrupted exception. E. Close it. System dot out dot print in a new line. So you can write your own message here, something like main thread interrupted. Main thread is interrupted. So what the general meaning of interruption is, if you are sleeping, if somebody disturbs you, that means nothing but interruption, right? Similarly here, because of this sleep statement, your main thread will enter into sleep state, right? And we made that to sleep for 1 second, right? Within this 1 second, if any other thread disturbs that, that is an exception, right? That exception name was given as interrupted exception. Okay, so our duty is, for safe side, we have to catch that interrupted exception. Now if you save this and now check, you do compilation, you won't get any kind of error. Java current thread demo dot java. There is a problem here. Could not find or load. So sorry, Java C, right? You have tried Java C. Java C current thread demo dot java. Yeah, this time we have not got any compile time error. Now we execute that. Students, you observe carefully how you are going to get the output. For every printing of a number, you should get a gap of 1 second, right? That is what we have written here by using the sleep method. Let's check whether you are getting that 1 second gap or not. Java current thread demo. See, 5 is printed, 1 second gap, 4 is printed. So for between every number, you have got a gap of 1 second, right? If you want to have a gap of 2 seconds, you just modify the program. Instead of 1000, you write 2000 and save this program. Compile this. Compile this and execute this. So what is the output you are expecting now? For every number, there should be a gap of 2 seconds, right? Let's check. Yes, 2 seconds gap. Between 4 and 3 also 2 seconds gap. Like that, we are getting a time gap of 2 seconds between printing of each and every number. So now what we are doing is we are controlling the execution of your main thread, right? Is it not? So initially, when we executed for the first time, the 54321 has been, all it has been printed once. But now what we made, we have controlled the main thread, and you can do some more changes to this, right? I told you, you can obtain the reference of that main thread. Okay, how you can obtain the reference of the main thread? I just, for instance, I'm trying to compare this reference with the TV remote. When you have a remote in your hand, you can easily control your TV, right? Similarly, I also want a similar kind of thing in my hand, nothing but a reference. I'm trying to get the reference of this main thread. For that, what I have tried is, I have to use a method called current thread method. Okay, thread T is equal to thread dot. So what is the method name? Current thread. Method name is current thread. That's it. Now this T is nothing but a remote to a TV. This is T is a reference. With this T, you can control the execution of your main thread. Okay. Suppose try to print that T. What you are going to get, we will see that system dot out dot print in a new line current thread. Current thread. You simply print that T. Compile it. First of all, save it, and next compile that. Compilation is going on. Yes, compiled. Execute it. See here, the first statement what you got is current thread. That was as it is printed, current thread. And next what you have done, you had printed T, right? That reference. So for that T, this was printed thread. It is of type thread. And in this square brackets, you can observe three parameters. I will explain you what are these three parameters. First one is nothing but name of the thread. By default, the name of the main thread is main itself. That's why main was printed. And the second parameter is that is a thread priority. Threads will have some priorities. In the last class, I told you threads will have priorities ranging from 1 to 10. 1 is the low priority, 5 is the normal priority or medium priority, and 10 is the highest priority. By default, main thread will have the priority 5. And see the third one. Third one is the thread group. What is the meaning of thread group is, in your college also you might be having the sections, right? Second year, first year, and again second years will have some sections. You call them as groups, right? So here also threads also will present in groups, or threads also have groups. This third parameter is nothing but group. What is the name of the group? Main. Main is the name of the thread group. I repeat this point. The first option is nothing but the name of the thread, and second option is the priority of the thread, and the third option is the name of the thread group, right? And one more point, observe here, the name is main, right? I want to change the name of the thread from main to some other name. I want to give it as a Kumar. In that case, how to do that? How to change the name of the thread? With only one method called set name. I will write it now in this program. T dot set name of Kumar, for example. So you have named the name of the thread from main to Kumar. And if you want to check, okay, you print that. System dot out dot print in a new line after name change. After name change, just print that T, and this time you observe what is the output you are going to get. First of all, save it, and execute it. First of all, compile it, right? We have not compiled it. Okay. First of all, compile it. We got the same output as previous one. Why? Because I have not compiled. After doing modifications, we have to compile every program. Yes, now you got the output. So initially, the name of the thread is main. Now it has been changed to Kumar, right? You can see here, right? So this is how you can control any thread or control the main thread by using its reference. Come back to our slide, last point. This is output what you got. One point about the sleep method. Okay, the sleep method causes the thread from which it is called to suspend. Whenever you call the sleep method, that main thread is going to be suspended, right? Only for a specified period of time. That means you have specified 1000 there, 1000 milliseconds, your main thread is going to be suspended, right? So this is the signature of that. Sleep is the name of the method, and this have to take only one parameter, that is a number of milliseconds, and no, it is going to throw the interrupted exception. So our duty is to write the catch clause in order to catch this interrupted exception. Okay. The other form for this sleep method also exists. In the other form, it will take two parameters. It will take the first one as a millisecond, second one is the nanoseconds also you can provide. And this is the last slide. You can set the name. Just now we have done in our program, we have changed the name of any thread. So in order to change the name of any thread, you have to use the set name method. In order to know the name of the any thread, you have to use the get name method. Okay, I'll stop here, and in the next class we will discuss the next topic.